Okay, we are here today. We're back. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but we are live today. It is Saturday, March 28th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today is a show of conversation. We are going to have a deep conversation about a very important topic, which only exists now because AI is a thing, and let's be honest, I don't think it's going anywhere. However, there has been cases of people going somewhere because of AI or the accusal of AI and other elements going. And we're going to talk about that today. We have some questions we're going to expose and then ask those questions, answer those questions. And then I have a special ending for the hour. Now, as you may notice, there is no poll. We normally have a poll on the weekends. Well, the reason is because I'm going to put the poll up at the end of the hour, and it's going to be based on an example, a test, and we're gonna vote on the test, and we're gonna see what we see. But we'll get to that. For now, today's show is all about accused of using AI to write your novels. You got to protect yourself from the nonsense because listen, the whole point of this is we're going to be tackling the anxiety that fuels us writers, especially writers trying to break through, writers that haven't even started because of the fear. We're going to be breaking down the craziness, the nonsense of the AI threatening, hey, you use AI. Well, how do you know? Because I am a genius and I noticed something, and because I noticed it, it's true. Well, it's not. We're gonna talk about that. All right. Now, obviously, if you have questions about today's topic or you want to add to it, please jump into the conversation and we will explore that. First, I want to say hello to everybody and then we'll get into it. What we got here? We got some, oh, yes. Welcome, welcome. The dogs are walked. Flowers, everybody. Ready for the stream. Good. We got 5, maybe 6 questions we need to answer, and I promise you we're going to get into it. Shadow Daddy and his bulging biceps. Sorry. Okay. Chief Cheerleader reporting, what's up, Emma? Hey, everybody. No pole dancing. I will not pole dance this week, but I have a pole. It's behind the curtain. I was going to let it out, but since we said no, we're not going to do it. Since when? Boo. Guess who was awakened by, I'm going to say Angel Faye, but I'm glad you're here today and you're doing what you're doing and you're safe. We're always praying. We're always hoping for you. Pole dance. What's up, Mallows? Because you use ellipses and M dashes and archaic words and purple prose, and because I say so. That's right. Yeah, most of the accusations are because I say so. I know more than anything, and therefore, if I see it as a reader or a writer, I'm accusing you of the AI. Well, we're going to talk about that. Hey, Mama Man. Hey, Faye. First and foremost, let's get into it. There is a new union spiel for the literary arts that actually you can submit for X amount of dollars and they will verify your book is not being AI, and it goes through a whole process, etc., etc. And at the end of the day, they put a stamp on it that says not AI, But they also use the same program to put big famous novels through, and it said the novels are 78%, 80%, 90% AI, right? Mostly because they're trained on AI. The AI is trained on these masterpieces, right? But the truth of the matter is, right, when it comes to the style of writing or whatever the case is, AI is going to AI, but it doesn't mean that just because you wrote something, you have to worry about the fear of somebody judging you, because there's a lot of craziness going out there with this whole thing. And I just want to be as quickly as extremely transparent with the topic today. Using spell check, okay, is not considered AI use according to this what is it called, the what is it, the Writers Union AI stamp of approval. So according to the Writers Guild of America, Uh, there are a couple things that will be considered AI. AI is if AI itself generates complete text, meaning you go, hey, can you write this? You could also, even if you go, hey, these are the ideas, this is my outline, this is what I want to happen in the scene, and then it generates it, that is considered 100% AI generated. You don't get a stamp of approval for that. However, they also have a, let me get the because I was reading up on this all week and I don't want to. Okay, so AI as a tool. Okay, AI agreement. AI as a tool. Writers can use AI if the company allows it, but cannot be forced to use it. So that's an argument that's been going on with the Writers Guild of America and everybody from unions to whatever. But to be clear, okay, if you use AI like Grammarly or Quillbot, and it gives you alternate suggestions of the functionality of a sentence, basically, if it says, "Hey, this should actually be this," and then you just hit select and you accept the suggestion, they also consider that writing with AI. Now, what they don't consider writing with AI is if it suggests spelling, the word is wrong. If it is adjusting a grammar element, but not necessarily rewriting it. You know, when like Grammarly or Quillbot, they have a thing called, let me go to the Quillbot has an option called paraphrase, and then you could just literally just have it rewrite the whole thing, and it'll come up and it'll give you suggestions. It'll say, hey, change this word, or blah, 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 blah. That's all considered AI use according to the system. So you will not get the stamp of approval through this union if you're using those elements. Now, what is an AI? Like I said, it's just spell check, quick grammar issues. Like, for example, if you're using past tense or present tense and it says, oh, you have is, but you're supposed to be having past tense, or was, whatever the case is. That is not necessarily considered AI generation because you are writing the piece, you are generating the piece, you are exploring the piece, etc., etc., etc. But at the end of the day, you finalize the sentence. It is yours, and it just makes a quick adjustment. Oh, we got some stuff here. Let's get to the thing. Yeah, we had three. Oh, sirens. Well, I'm glad you're here, my friend. I'm glad you're here. You have no idea. It's $10. Yeah, it's $10 per title for a non-member. Correct. Pro Writing Aid suggests things and still includes the error. That's funny and accurate. Non-generative AI is the tool for spell checking, grammar editing, and such. Generative AI is the one that creates things to be inserted, replaced. Both leave an AI marker in the metadata. That is true. That is correct. Yeah. Hey, what's up, SB? Yeah. Now, to be clear, even if you use spell check, as per your comment, that is true. Spell check will leave metadata adjustments. So if you select, like, let's say you spelt the word wrong, whatever the case is, and you hit yes, it will then generate an AI marker. Now, obviously, if you're doing spell check and someone goes, you use AI, and then you go, no, I was using spell check, then the retraction is there. However, I would like to say you are technically using AI, but you're not writing with AI and you're not generating AI. So that's why you got to step back. But there is coding. The coding is the issue, right? That stands out there. But again, so if you're out there and you're a writer and you're using spell check or Writer Pro and stuff like that, and it's like, hey, this word is wrong or this grammar is wrong or whatever, you forgot to put the comma or you put the apostrophe in the wrong spot or whatever, you're not accused of writing with AI. But if you're selecting and accepting full-on sentence changes, or it's saying that or you're like, hey, can you pretty this up? Then that is considered writing with AI. Now that we have a Pro Writer Aid AI beta reader is just a fancy trope checker that doesn't understand twisting tropes. All right. Well, now that we have an understanding of where we are sitting when we talk about this conversation, I will clarify my position and then we will move forward. I do not believe you should use AI to write. I see no issue with using AI spell check or grammar check or whatever the case is. But if you are writing with I think that is an issue because then you're not writing. Back in the day, I don't know if you know this, but ghostwriting was the AI of the day. People would be accused of hiring ghostwriters and not writing their books. It was a it was a struggle, and there was a mob of people that would do it. The If I could, when was let me just get that. When was the ghost issue back in the day for authors? That is like AI today, right? There was a whole thing where people would be accused. Yeah, so between the 1910s and the 1930s, there was a huge rise in dime novels. Those are like noir and stuff like that, pulp fiction, and then celebrity and nonfiction memoirs. Okay, the problem was it was the peak era of ghostwriting, and people would always be like, you're not writing this. Someone else is writing this." So the times continue to respond to the same behaviors, right? But people were like, no, no, I did write this. And they're like, no, there's no way you wrote this. You hired a ghostwriter. So the outrage and the ethical outrage and cry was pretty similar to what we are dealing with now. Everybody would look at a book and be like, this isn't their voice. This is someone else's. And that's what we're dealing with AI right now. Okay. Oh, wait, what's it? If the AI is writing for you, then you want correct. If AI is writing for you, you are. I agree. Made it before lights out. Yo, what's up, Em? What's up, Em? Uh, this is not written by AI. There's a thin line between a tool and a crutch. Well, I don't think spell check is ever I have dyslexia, so using spell check for me is not. I don't think a crutch per se. I need it because I'm going to write and I'm going to misuse words or not words per se, but the lettering is going to be all right. But I do think there is a difference between trying to find the right words for your story through your lens, your emotional experience, and then asking AI to be like, hey, can you write a provocative or a dark or a noir or a emotional or a whatever, put here, chapter. I do not believe that is considered writing. I believe that is 100%. Mark Twain did ghostwriting and travel writing for newspapers and magazines to make ends meet, and a lot of people still work for these reasons, but now AI is replacing them. But to be honest, a human still needs to read it. Well, yeah, that is true. But Mark Twain ghostwriting, I don't believe is the same argument. The argument is if Mark Twain is releasing books and he's not writing them, but he's just putting his name on there, and then people are like, somebody else is writing this because it doesn't sound like older Mark Twain stuff, and that would be an issue. Obsessed with the way you say noir. Oh, noir. All right. So now that we're all on the same page and we understand what we'll be talking about today, which is literally having AI write out or change your sentences, basically line editing, and you accepting the line edit, I would give you leeway if you saw suggestions and then rewrote the sentence in your voice and didn't use the suggestion, if that makes sense. I am okay if somebody is using AI to analyze. As long as it's analytical, like for example, what is happening in this scene, and then it says these things are happening, and then you can go, ooh, it's saying this is happening, but that was not my intention. Then you have to go back and do the writing. But analyzing and writing are not the same thing. It's just a critique. However, I would not suggest you use AI as a developmental editor, B, a line editor, C, a beta reader or alpha reader. That is not what AI is. Avoid that element. All right. The other thing is AI is, as per my research, prone to YA suggestions. They're most likely going to do what's it called? Market writing. So they're going to take what would quote unquote sell, and then that's the suggestion. So your voice as an author is going to be diminished because you're not the same thing. You're not writing a certain way, and it's not writing a certain way, and then for some reason it's going to help you create a better version. No, it's just, it is what it is. I hate the way word editor constantly prompts to correct the conversationals. Oh yeah, well that's the other thing, right? You know, if, and by no means am I saying you're starting as a writer, but for writers who are starting out, sometimes they get into that inner debate. Should the dialogue be as clear as the narrative, and should the narrative be clear as the, like, but in reality dialogue could be completely left field of grammar. It doesn't, it could literally be backwards. The syntax could be backwards in dialogue, so a good ghostwriter should be just a magic pencil writing the author's idea and the author's voice to the point people can't tell the. Yes and no. So I ghostwrite. And people who come to me usually, if not always, are not writers. They just have an idea. And what I do is I'll come in and I'll help them map out their idea, outline it basically, and help them brainstorm it by asking questions, by having conversations with them. And then if they at the end go, I don't want to write this though, because I'm not a writer, and then they would hire me to ghostwrite, and then I would ghostwrite. Screenwriting is the same way. I know we're talking about novels, but screenwriting is the same way. People come in, they go, can you give me an outline of this idea? This is all I have. I don't have the time to write it. At least I don't have time to work to, develop the project. You create the outline, you create basically the characters and the concepts based on the long conversations, and then you hand it in, and then sometimes they say, could you just write the first draft? Now, what's interesting about screenwriting is the first draft is not going to be the film draft. It might go through 20 or 30 revisions. Either another writer will come in, clean it up. Another writer will come in and punch it up if we want more jokes. Another writer will, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look up the history of Pretty Woman, we talked about this. What was purchased by Disney was not what was on the screen by a long shot. One, there was heroin use. Another, there was a heroin death. Another, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a murder. It was not Pretty Woman. It's called 3000 though, because that's how much she ends up. I will stay for 3000 for the week. AI has never been able to do this. I keep waiting for Jane Austen. I mean, that would be an interesting book. Not because I'm a fan, but because it will get. Yes, I agree. I mean, the idea that AI could write through the emotional lens of a human soul, or let's say you don't believe in soul, just the human brain, the way we feel things, it can't do it. It could emulate the concept or the idea, but it's just taking a researched database of what sold based on word use and going, well, this works. These are sentences and word formation that work. But it doesn't understand why we as the author are choosing that word, or why we are choosing to move through that theme, or why we are choosing to have a character not speak or to speak, right? It just moves through the standards, or, everything looks tropey. George Costanza is such an... Yes, he is. These pretzels are making me thirsty. All right, so let's get to it. We're going to start answering some questions. And before you even think of it, I promise you, I am not AI. I am Thomas J. Bellezza. I am not for the AIs. Let's get into it. All right. Where's my first question? Just I'm waiting for AI that helps to collaborate with you, AI that doesn't write for you but only guides you and offers you suggestions. Well, it does that now. It has suggestions. It definitely has suggestions. But I promise you. Oh, the pole dancing dragon writer. That's right. That's who I am. I am the pole. I robot all over again. I am not a robot. I promise you, I am not a robot. Please. Do not think I am AI. Okay. So, also, if you haven't already, please buy Carla's book. We have to make sure that they get their sales quota in. All right. First question: how do creators deal with being accused of using AI? This is important. This is very important. Oh, what do we got here? We got. Wait. I am waiting for AI to clean my house, pick up my growth. Yes, that is accurate. The AI pro writing is annoying. That is also accurate. Thomas was the infamous dragon pulled. Correct. 100%. They bite. All right. So, how do creators deal with being accused of using AI? This is the start of the discussion after 20 minutes, 21 minutes. All right. How do creators deal with being accused of using AI? All right. There's a couple ways to go about it. My personal approach, and then we can kind of get into the nuance of it. Okay. I like that he chose little baby robot. I did that on purpose. All right. Okay. My personal approach to this, if somebody's like, hey, you used AI, I say, great, thank you. I did not, though. And then they go, yes, you did. And then I have to remember the golden rule. Do they influence my romance, my finance? Do they enhance or advance my life in any way? If the answer is no, as I said on an earlier short, they have no chance. I don't care. They have no influence over my life. I know my truth and honesty. But this is the real value of understanding that a person or a group of people that don't like your writing and believe it's AI, they're not your audience, and you don't need them. We've talked about this before, where the world population is like, what is it? 8.3 billion people, right? Now, I'm from the States. So the U.S. population is 342 million, and then the UK population is 69 million. Curious, how big is it over there? All right. So why is that important to know? Okay. I have shown handwriting copies on screen and explained that I always use ellipses because real writers do, and also I use, so they should be, okay. Well, you shouldn't have to go that deep into explaining yourself. Look, if somebody says you use AI, you tell them, I do not. If they continue to push at you, you don't need them. They are not your reader. They are not a part of your posse. They are not advancing your life. They're not enhancing your life. They're not even there to support you. They are more, I'm going to make a generalization. They are dealing with their insecurities, their fears, and then they are placing it on other people. These people are not experts. Unless it's Hemingway coming into the room or Jane Austen, who are author masters, right? There are literary masters, right? You need a literary master to be like, this doesn't feel human. They're an expert. It's the same thing as like Neil deGrasse Tyson comes in and talks to me about science. I'm going to listen to him. Even though there are probably experts beyond Neil deGrasse Tyson. Clearly there are. I'm not an expert, but he is an expert in his field. And if he says, but if Mike or Melissa down the road come to me and we're talking about science and they're telling me the earth is flat and I go, no, it's not. And they go, yes, it is. Oh, you're a denier of the truth. Like, who cares what they like? My life's not going to change. Their life's not going to change. We have no influence on the world whatsoever. We're just two people that live on the street and we're just talking science. And it's the same thing with writers. If writers are not in a power, a place of position, a place of influence, they can't do anything other than have an opinion. And their opinion has no real weight. They're just somebody who believes in their heart that they are such an expert, right? It's the Krugen, what is it? The Dunning-Krugen effect, right? The Dunning-Krugen effect is the cognitive bias, because, the cognitive bias where individuals with limited knowledge or competence, very important, competence, in a domain greatly overestimate their own expertise. So when somebody who is just some other author in the world, but they are not at the top of their game and considered experts. They're just not, they're not hailed as experts. And it's just some Joe Schmo going, yeah, this is AI. I can tell because there's an M dash and we got some ellipses. No, you have nothing to stand on. You are basically just demanding that because you believe, right? It's like, okay, I stand by this and I behave like this. I didn't always, but as I grew up and became an adult in the music industry, I used to say, we are the greatest band in the world, right? And then we eventually turned that into a joke because, like, we shouldn't feel like that, right? But people would come up to me and say, you're really good at guitar. That I could accept, but I would still say, I just like having fun. I just like playing. We cannot say we are something. We cannot say we are great. We are you could say, you can obviously have confidence and believe in yourself. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is other people place the descriptor on you, right? So if somebody who's not an expert, but they claim to be an expert because they wrote 3 books and never published or anything, but it's the first 3 books and they're, whatever, right? Somebody else has to claim their expertise. They can't be like, well, I'm an expert. I wrote 3 poetry books and I know exactly what AI looks like in prose. And you are writing in AI prose. Like, who cares what that person has to say? Oh, we got some stuff here. They are no longer part of my posse. I love hearing that, my friend. I love it. Dr. Tyson. One of my buddies works with him. Hello, what's up, Richard? Emma is AI. I will say that the current witch hunt culture around AI accusations is so toxic it might as well be Britney Spears. Don't go after Britney. All right. Yeah, the quote unquote witch hunt. Yeah. Hey, lovely Richard. Your latest book was so good it couldn't be AI. We don't know that yet. Most AI detectors are AI themselves. Well, of course they are. Like one of them accusing Gettysburg Address as being AI. I was talking about that earlier when we were starting. Like even master works have been accused of being AI through this program. Well, they write a program and look at it. Yep, heavily. Yep. All right. So where are we? If somebody tells me you used AI and I say, no, I didn't, and then they say, yes, you did, then I just go, all right, thank you. I appreciate your time. I don't care about them. And the reason is because if we go back to the population, all right, the rule of thumb is you need 1%, okay, of your market, not even the population, but of your market to be considered successful. So let's look at what is the total number of people within the epic fantasy market. Or I should say readership. What are the total number of readers within it? Okay. All right. So globally, this is how we gotta retrain our brains not to care about people being silly. The precise number is the market is multi-million readers. The Lord of the Rings has all right. So let's use Lord of the Rings sales 150 million copies. All right. So times 1% is 1.5 million people. So very few authors will ever see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have your Stephen Kings, your Sandersons, and stuff like that. Like, when Stephen King sells a book, he sells, 2 million copies, right? So let's look at the more average, which is, what is it? It's 10,000 sales, right? The average writer sells how many copies to a successful book? The average writer. It's not that much. It's 5,000 to 10,000 copies. Okay? So that means you need 5 to 10,000 people to be your readers, to believe in you, to want you. That is your market. Right? Yes, of course you want to get a million. Of course, who doesn't? Who doesn't want to get a million copies? But even some of the quote unquote bigger names, they're not selling millions. They're selling hundreds of thousands. Yeah, sure. But if you could sell 10,000 copies of a book, whether it's a year or 2 years or 3 years, that's a successful book, right? So if 10 people are telling you your book is AI, that is way lower than 1.5 million. And you only need 1.5 million of whatever your the population is, which is 350 something million in the States, right? So if someone's telling you, listen, you're using AI, and you say, no, I am not, and they go, yeah, you are. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a supercomputer, and I know everything. You go, thank you. And then you move on. You just move on. Because you don't need their sales. You don't even need their friendship. They're not adding anything to your life. That's my position on that. That's my thoughts on that. What do we got here? There is no real way of proving it. Well, I mean, there is. There is a way to prove if it is AI. You're standing next to the person, and the person goes, watch this, and they go, write me something. And then you see their fingers touch the keyboard, and then you look at the screen, and the screen has AI generating the thing. And then you're like, oh, there it is. I have just generated the AI work, and I have seen it and witnessed it. Therefore, I can prove this piece is AI. That's my point. I won't read any of your books because you have a cover that looks AI, so it must also be AI writing too. Is the book talk bias that is blowing? Well, all right. Again, if your book cover was made with AI, it would be AI, right? But if people say your book is, the book cover's AI, and you say, no, it isn't, and then they go, well, I can tell it is, then you go, thank you, have a nice day. They are, again, one of the few people you don't have to worry about. They are not part of your romance, finance. They don't enhance or advance your life. They are not a part of the growth. You know what I'm saying? True. AI has a specific pattern, either in images. It does. But like with the covers or the writing, there's no definitive way to tell by looking unless you see the thing happening. That's what perceived accusation is. It's like watching two people talking and then they start roughhousing, and because I see them roughhousing and I go, oh, they must hate each other, they're fighting, and then you realize they're two brothers or sisters just funking around, and they're just playing and trying to get, they're trying to tickle each other, and you don't know until you go there and ask follow-up questions, right? But if you go over there and you say, oh, why are you guys fighting? You must hate each other. And they go, oh, no, we're brothers. We're just playing around. And then the AI the accusers are basically, they'd be like, no, I saw what I saw. And to my eyes, you people were fighting and you hate each other. And they're like, no, we don't. We're brothers. We're just play fighting. We love each other. What are you talking about? No. I saw it. And my perception and my feelings are the truth. Have a nice day. Walk off. My father, I think I've mentioned this story, but once my father was driving and his father, my grandfather, were in the car, and somebody cut my father off. My grandfather goes, why didn't you honk at him? He goes, my father's like, I'm never going to see that person again. How is me honking going to change their behavior as a driver or justify how annoying it was? They are gone. I do not have to ever interact with them again. And if I do, I won't know. So it doesn't matter. Father was a very wise man. To be honest, I think Shy Girl got canceled not because of the AI acquisition, which now seem false, but because the publisher only sold a few hundred copies. Well, whatever the reason for them being dropped by the publisher, that is their prerogative because they are investing in this author. However, the accusations, as far as my research goes, is that the author hired a friend, and then the friend used AI. right? But this is the thing. That is not a good editor. A good editor gives you suggestions without changing anything. They do not change your manuscript. They give you notes. And then you, as the author, are supposed to look at those notes and make choices. Either take the suggestion or rework the idea. I usually rework the idea if an editor gives me a suggestion. If their idea is interesting or I like the word, I might take a word or two, but the concept of change will be something I put a little work into. Unless, of course, it's screenwriting and I'm working with a big time producer and they're like, just change this. I go, well, you did pay me a lot of money, so changed. That rule of thumb. Or if somebody leaves the bloody prompts in there. Oh, that's always funny when they do that. Oh, by the way, going back to this, I totally stopped the thought. So they hired somebody, but my point is they should have not just accepted or allowed the changes to be a direct thing. So that is I don't understand why she's not accepting some of the blame. But again, we do know that she wrote the book initially without AI, as per her claim. I do think there are uses for AI in admin related tasks in limited ways, but never too. Well, okay. If I have AI organize my emails, nothing wrong with that. But if I have AI write all my emails to people that I want to have relationships with, there's something wrong with that. Because I'm not building a relationship. I'm turning people into numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's like social media posts. You know, if every post is AI generated and it's just the functionality of the number churning, it's lacking something real, something human, which is connection. All right, I use it to help organize my messy thoughts. I see what you did there. Oh my God, I love Thomas. So funny when they leave the prompt. That is really funny. I do love it. Great impression. You must. The robot. I have robot legs. That's from Grandma's Boy. That's where I got the voice from. Jason did deserve to be completely canceled to oblivion for that one mistake. I do not believe she deserved to be canceled. No. My position is I don't think anyone deserves to be canceled for something like it's just writing a book. And there was a situation. I don't know all the details to have a distinct position. I just know what she said, what they said, and what the issue is. I believe she still needs to take responsibility. I'm okay with the book being taken off the shelves, but at the same time, that doesn't mean if she writes another book, it'll be the same exact situation. I feel bad for Mia. The covers of her books were gorgeous too. Well, there's this other lady who does AI for her books. I think we talked about this last week, where she wrote 200 books in like a year, and they're all AI. Well, she didn't write any. She wrote 0 books. She manufactured 200 books through AI and AI covers, and she made 6 figures. And that's going to it's just ridiculous. Also, was there any definitive proof behind the accusations? Again, witch hunt. You can't have definitive proof unless somebody sees it. That's the thing. In crime, if you go to, well, I don't know how it is anywhere else, but in the States, all right, you have your peers, right? And you have to convince the peers beyond a shadow of a doubt that something happened, right? But if I say somebody did something to me, right, and I'm suing them, and I can't prove that they actually did it to me because there's no witnesses or there's no evidence to it, you don't get in trouble. Unfortunately, we are falling into a society or a situation where if I have the greater social worth or prestige, and there is no evidence but my word against theirs, I gain the footing, and the other person has to deal with the consequences, no matter whether we have information or not. It's a 1950. That's something. That is something to think about. These anti-AI witch hunters don't. I'm only laughing because every time I hear witch hunt, I think of the I think of someone else. Don't seem to be able to the fact that they may actually be wrong. Well, that's the thing. That goes back to the Dunning-Kruger effect. You know, they have only the competence that they have, and they accept that their competence is the be-all, end-all truth. Really is toxic. I can do my own streamer. You should, Richard. We'll come on. It's probably best I don't, as I tend to get in trouble when I open my gob. Do it with Thomas Robot Head. Can you picture him there? Hello, my name is Richard. I have an issue with these computer AI writing programs. Okay. All right. Sorry to hear that, but I hate AI. I also hate AI covers. Thing is, AI ain't intelligent. Agreed. Just a very, 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 very expensive next word gusher. Monday, I'm gonna write a book. Oh, that's cool. What's it about? Don't know. I'm just gonna hit generate. Tuesday, I finished my book. Oh, that's cool. What's it about? Don't know. Generate. Yeah, excellent. I agree. That's what AI does. All right. So how to create it. So my final thought on this question, I'm going to move on to the next question. How do creators deal with being accused of using AI? You do not need everybody in the world to accept your book. You just need 10,000 people to have a good career. 10,000 people buying your book at $10 a book. Well, let's say $6. It's $60,000 a year. You got to take, depending on where you're from. If you're from the States, it's 43% off of that. But again, if you're paying state tax. My point is, you need 10,000 people to believe your truth, believe your worth, believe your value, and see what it is you're trying to say in your book. Minus the book, they have to accept you as a human being. They have to accept you as a brand. They have to accept you and your positions, your views, and your standpoints. So at the end of the day, if people accuse you and you say, I did not, that's all you need. If you have to continue to defend yourself, you will technically, based on psychology, devalue your position because you're not necessarily standing by your point. You're trying to prove your point, and the only evidence that you could do to prove your point against people living with Dunning-Kruger effect or delusion or cognitive dissonance is you have to have them sit next to you and see you actually doing it. And even then, I might argue that they are too stupid to accept the reality of the thing. So, ixnay on them. Goodbye day. All right, let's get to the next one. Oh, wait, we got some more stuff. Hello. What's that? Oh, I must go. Hey, Richard, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. AI Richard shutting down. Oh, wait. AI Richard shutting down. Okay. I'm glad everyone's liking the robot head. All right. Bye, Richard. You should join us for breaking the block tomorrow. Ooh, that'd be fun. All right. Next question. What are some things we could try to do to avoid, what are some things we should try to avoid so that we minimize the accusations? This is a good question. Don't use AI. That's it. Don't use AI. If you're asking, should you use less em dashes? I disagree. You should use less ellipses? I disagree. You should use less 3 times words, where like, oh, he sat there quiet, secure, and withheld. I don't think you should take that out. There's nothing you should have to do to avoid being accused of AI. That is on other people and their limited understanding of what is truth. But at the same time, if you're writing with a fear of, is this AI, you're worrying about something that doesn't exist, right? Because if you're not writing with AI, you're doing everything you should be doing. You are literally the embodiment of not writing with AI if you are just not writing with AI. If you allow that fear and that anxiety to control your words, you will not truly write the creative emotion or the creative value of the things that matter to you, the things you need to say, the stories you want to tell, the people you want to write through, right? So at the end of the day, there's nothing to avoid when it comes to writing your truth. Just allow yourself to write as you write. Don't restrict yourself. Don't think, oh, does this sentence sound like AI? No, you're supposed to write your zero draft or first draft, get it out. Then you go back and you work it. You do some line editing. Then you hire an editor you trust, someone you know who's not going to use the AI. And then you look at it, etc., etc. And then you have to make some more choices as a writer. And at the end of the day, everything you're doing, as long as it is strictly coming from you and other human beings, you're fine. And if somebody says, hey, this is AI, and you go, no, it's not. I worked on it myself with, right? And I refer back to my original answer. But the point is, you should not be trying to minimize your choices when it comes to creativity. If you write with AI, that is the thing I would not only try to avoid, but actually avoid. All right. Oh, we got two comments. Dunning-Kruger, cognitive. D, very posh. Thomas, did they come from your AI? It did. We got the information from the internet. All right. A book talk. That is correct. Book talk, Karen. I don't even go on book talk anymore. I ignore TikTok completely. Book talk, Karen's gonna Karen, and there is nothing we can do about it. That is right. Agreed. All right. Next question. Not to say using AI writing assistance is bad for everyone, but for those of us that take it as an insult, how can we not take it too harshly? This is great. First of all, AI writing assistance, as far as we've already talked about that, spell check, grammar check, all that. Do what you got to do. That is not generative AI. So you're free. As far as how can we not take it too harshly? Because it doesn't matter. First of all, there's layers to it. If it's somebody you don't know and they're like, you use AI, and then you go, no, I don't, and then they go, yes, you do, because I know I'm the best, right? You just ignore them. You just move on. You go, all right, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. If it's somebody you kind of know, like you talk to them on the internet, and they're like, you use AI, and then you go, I do not, and then they go, yes, you do. You have to really rate that relationship. Is that relationship worth putting more time into? Is it just somebody that's just going to bring you stress? Because it's the romance, finance, advance, enhance, right? If they're not doing those things, you might have to make the choice on, all right, arm's length. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to feed into or amuse or even entertain their allegations, because it's not true. And plus, they have no value in the sense of they have no influence. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're working with James Cameron, and then James Cameron comes out and goes, I had to stop working with XYZ because they use AI. I would probably hire a PR person. I would probably get on the radio. I would probably start showing evidence wherever I could. You know what I'm saying? Because James Cameron worked with me side by side, and then they come out and they say, hey, he used AI. Right? Now, there's influence. Now, I have to make a stand. Now, I have to say something. But if Joe Schmo or Karen Darren is saying stuff, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. But anyway, how can we not take it too harshly? The reality of it is, if they're strangers, they have no connection to you. If there's somebody you kind of know, you got to make choices, not to get like, you're out of my life, but have a conversation. Be like, look, I don't do it. But you don't have to defend yourself. All you have to say is, I did not use it. And if this person doesn't stop and they just forever keep accusing you for AI, you got to think about limiting your time with them. Now, if they are somebody you deeply know, a good friend, a family member, a fellow peer that you have a complete respect for, and you say, I do not use AI, and they go, yes, you do, I agree with the same sentiment. They are probably not the right person for you. You got to put your arm out, or you got to cut down the time, or you got to be like, look, if you don't believe me, then how are we friends? Do you believe I'm a liar? Do you believe I'm a liar? If they say, I do not believe you're a liar, then you got to go, all right, then I did not use AI. And then they have to say, oh, okay, I believe you. But if they go, I do believe you're a liar, then why be friends? It's not about, it's okay to be accused of AI. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody you know is like, you use AI, and then you have the right to go, I do not, especially if it's honest and true. But if they don't believe you, that's the issue. Them accusing you or being like, hey, this looks like it's AI, right? There is a difference between you use AI versus, hey, this kind of looks like you're using AI. And in both situations, that's okay. It's just the follow up is what isn't okay. So if you say, I did not use AI, and they continue to barrage you with, and they, for weeks and weeks and weeks, are just like, you are a liar. They're not your friends. So there's no reason to go harshly. You just need that interaction and that calm where it's just like, if that's what you believe, then have a nice, like I don't have time to argue with somebody about that. That's my feelings on it. I don't do book talk. Are they writers or readers who think they are critics? Usually on book talk, it's authors that are releasing their first book, or they have 2 or 3 books, or whatever the case is, and they're experts, and they'll edit your book and then develop your book, and then you know what, you can come hire me and I'll do all that, right? They're trying to, but there are some people on book talk, just like there's always some, the rule of probability exists. So there are some people that are extremely talented on all platforms, but the majority, like when I listen to some people on book talk and they're giving like, my least favorite are like contemporary note, like, you got to show, don't tell, and then they're like, showing is allowing the physical body to, and it's like, that's not what showing means. That's not what show don't tell means. Showing is representing the truth through behavior or context, right? So like, how do you show a world of advanced technology? You just show, you just have advanced technology. They get into a car that floats on 3 feet above the road. They have laser guns. That's what showing is. Showing isn't just, I'm angry, my fingers are crunching, right? But the way they explain show don't tell, it's always like, yeah, if somebody is angry, you want them, but that's not what it is. And also, it should be, I say it, show sometimes tell. You need context, but they have this hard, if you tell, telling is bad, but telling isn't bad. The moment some character goes, hi, I'm Thomas J. Bellezza, that's telling. The moment you say he or she said, that's telling. So take away all the saids. The moment you have somebody go, I looked into their blue eyes, that's telling. But who cares? Who cares? Sorry, I could go on days for that. I do not like poor advice. Poor advice is poorly presented advice. I believe show don't tell is a strong rule, but I do not believe it is presented wisely. Just like the adverb thing, or the, like, oh, don't use passive phrasing. Why not? Most, if not all, dialogue is passive. So should all dialogue be written active? No. It's bad advice. Oh, don't write with passive constructs. It should always active. Why? And then they usually say, well, because it's stronger writing. Okay, but why? Why is active? Everything should be active. Why is that stronger? Like, that's what I can't stand about that stuff. Where are we? Hey, bro, what's up? I was watching for a little bit, but had to chime in since I use AI for music and write my own lyrics. If you use AI at all, own it. The more people try to lie about it. Well, I agree with that. If you use AI, just accept that you use AI. Do I think people should use AI for creative things? Depends. It depends. If you're using AI not to make money and you're just enjoying yourself and having fun, have at it. Do whatever you got to do. But if you're using AI to make money and to basically mass produce things just so you, that's where I kind of like, I'm like, both writers and readers are dogpiling on the AI, which dog. I like the dogpiling. It's too much. It's crazy. Opinions are like arseholes. Arseholes. Oh wait. This will be better if I do it like this. Opinions are like arseholes. We've got one. Likes life's too short to worry about strangers thinking they know about you. I say, fuck them. Hey, bro. Exactly. I use a Leonardo AI as a filter to make my horrid Photoshop paint covers couple together from like a single image. I toggle on the no human art. This was a really good live. Thank you so much for the insight. Anytime, SB. I'll see you later tonight, by the way, unless, of course, you have to reschedule to Sunday. You just let me know. All right. Let's see. And because I pay to use it, I like a filter for images. I think if you use the filters, that's. But if it generates the image from scratch, I think that would be the considered issue. But if you're using, because like right now, if we use Instagram and stuff like that, you put those that's all AI filters, you know. All right, where are we? We got a couple more. All right, should we just get used to the idea of people assuming for whatever? Yeah, people are gonna assume. They are assuming makes an ass out of you and me, and it's just they're gonna do it. They're just let them assume all they want. Who cares? I used a picture of myself drinking coffee in front of a bookshelf to create an avatar as a fun caricature image. Yeah, look, it's just whatever. I never generate images from scratch. Look, if you're just having fun with it, it is what it is, you know? But again, if you're using AI to make money, you can't copyright it. That's the issue. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Hey, yeah, that's fine, SB. We can do tomorrow. Absolutely. I'll be around. Going back to this. Look, this is the thing. The reason I say the hard line is when you want to make money is because you can't copyright AI. It's just it is you don't own it. So, I might not make it back. I'm visiting the capital, having lunch with a friend. Ooh, enjoy your lunch. But you just let me know. I'm easy. You know I'm easy, SB. You know I'm easy. Hey, what's up, Ghoul Hungers? Look, to be clear to everybody, this isn't just for you. I just have your comment up just for the context, because sometimes you got to tell, right? Tell is I never generate image. The thing is, the moment you want to make money, you can't use AI because you can't copyright it. If you can't copyright it, then you don't own it. And if you don't own it, there are a lot of things involved with not being able to own the thing. You can't just use something you don't own. You can't just make it. So that is the big issue. That's the big issue. The cherry blossoms are full bloom. Enjoy. All right, we got a couple more. We got 3 more questions. How much effort should I put into making sure I repeat over and over? I will not use AI as part of my writing. All right, here's the honest answer. That is right. You only own what you make. And, again, if somebody's just having fun, just do it. Have fun. Like if my father was alive and he was just making AI images of us and the family and just making us, like flying on eagles and stuff, have at it. Like, if anyone attacked my father for doing that, I'd be like, shut up. He's 70-something years old. He got blown up in Vietnam. He's just trying to entertain himself to get through life, Sometimes it's just you're just enjoying yourself, but at the moment you want to make money, that's where I'd be like, how much effort should I put into making sure? Okay, here is the honest answer with this. If you are super concerned with this, just put something in your bio or something in the book that says this is not generated. There was no AI generation, or I don't use AI to generate content, or whatever. Just put a thing up there. I don't think you have to do that. I wouldn't do it. It's not important. If you stand by your establishment, like what your your positions, the things you care about, the things that are true to you. Like if you stand by your convictions, you don't need to prove to anybody. You know what I'm saying? But if it is something that is on your shoulder, just put something in your bio, put something in the books, put it on your website. Just be like, I don't use AI, right? But you do not have to repeat. Going back to the beginning, if you have to repeat yourself, think about the relationship. How much do you know them? Do you know them at all? If you don't know them at all, you don't even have to worry about it. You just move on. If you kind of know them, you have to make a choice. Are these people that I want in my life? Because are they advancing, enhancing? Are they adding to my romance or my finance? If the answer is no, then goodbye. Or should I just let it go when I know the words are mine, despite dispute it once? Yeah, that's it. Let it go. Let it go. How do you deal with it? This was a question to me. How do I deal with it? I basically explain that. If somebody's like, you use AI, I go, okay. I don't, but thanks. Right? I was on Reddit, and you know how I use AI to make the thumbnail just for the Rewrite the Great series, and I obviously used it for this one because it was a joke. Because I don't really have a dragon. But I do have a robot head. Okay. So I was on Reddit and I had posted a Rewrite the Great series because I want to have me next to a character from the book. And people were like, oh, now that you used AI for a thumbnail on YouTube, that means we can't trust you and everything you do is AI. And I said, all right, I don't use AI. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter what you say. It's AI. So then I just didn't post there anymore. And I left because I'm not going to argue with people. I am 48 on April 6th, in a couple days. I beat cancer. I have issues with my lungs because of COVID. I lost my parents, my dog. I had to watch my best friend fade away from leukemia when I was younger. There are so many more important things that I deal with emotionally and the battles I have than to give anything more than a second to a stranger who has nothing to contribute to the world or my life because they think a certain thing and therefore I have to accept it. Nay, vafangul. You know what I'm saying? Gifa, statasi, aspetta. No one has the right to define your peace by telling you something that is stupid. And I feel I can't give people that kind of time. My 20s, my 30s, yeah, sure. I definitely would stand up for an argument. Now I'm like, okay. Like when I go, if I give some information, if I go, I drink diet wild cherry Pepsi, and they go, no, that's Coca-Cola. I go, oh, it is. I guess it is. Or if I say, oh, I only drink Pepsi, and they go, no, you drink Coke. I know you do. I go, oh, I guess I do, maybe. And then they go, oh, why are you just agreeing with me? Am I? And they'd be like, well, yeah, you just agreed with me. I go, oh, well, you're saying I do. I told you what I do, and you told me I don't. So if I don't agree with you, then I got to listen to you tell me that I don't have time for that. And I'd be like, well, how do you go through life like that? Peacefully. Quite peacefully. All right. But I do want a dragon pen holder. I wanted to meet the dragon. The dragon is real in my head, but that's about it. Oh, thank you so much. Happy early birthday. Yeah. Monday will be my birthday, and then Tuesday will be my first class back at the library teaching. Basically, people how to write a book. It's called Write a Book with Me, from concept to conception. I took the Sundays, but it'll be me teaching the books. Feely on that one. That's what I'm saying. You and me. And you're retired, so like, I'm semi-retired. I basically retired from the music industry, and I've basically been living the life. So it's like I can't have my peace taken from me. It's just not worth it. Preach. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If they want to know you, if you write it yourself, they can want that. Well, that's the other thing. Yeah. I mean, not only do I have the whatchamacallit, I have the Patreon thing where like you see the stages of my writing, but I do the live writing on. Not only do I do live writing on Sunday, though, I do live writing on Saturday sometimes. I do real. The rewrite the greats is not me using AI. It's me writing examples right there on the screen. It's not me using AI. Though I'll be honest with you, I have had people message me and be like, "Did you use AI to write XYZ?" Because sometimes I have pre-written examples up there because I want the live to go a little quicker, so I'll pre-write stuff during the week because I write my lessons, or at least I bullet point some of them, and be like, no, I wrote that, and if they say I don't know, it looks, then I just done. See you next week. I consume a cola flavor beverage. That's funny. That is, yes. You drink Coke. It is cola. Now I made a choice that I don't care who it is. If I say something and then you question it or judge it or say no, then I'll just accept your answer, or I'll say, "Well, I don't know. Maybe it could." If you're saying that, then it has to be right. I don't mind if somebody like fact checks me, like if I don't know you, or you don't have faith in me because I'm not an expert in something, and you fact check me. I'll fact check you with it. I'll be like, oh yeah, let me just double check that. I do it all the time. Like if I'm talking about something that the moment I have 1 ounce of doubt, I'll check myself right in real time. Um, but there was this kid that I was friends with. I'm not friends with anymore, and I have 20 plus years in marketing, 20 plus years in the entertainment industry, 20 plus years in the creative field, 20 plus years teaching, 20 plus, like I'm an expert in my field of purpose, right? And this person knows this, has known me for 10 years at the point of the dismissal, and they would ask me questions. What should I do for XYZ on marketing? And then I would give an answer, and they go, no, that's not true. And then I go, all right. And they go, but how do I do it? I go, I can't give you another answer. I can only give you the answer I know. And then they would look it up and they'd be like, oh, you were right. And like, there's so many times you could listen to that before you're just like, stop it, right? I don't have time for that. I don't mind the fact check though. But for someone to outright be like, no, you are wrong. And it's like, but I have the expert. This is my area of expertise. It's like if somebody told me, if I explained to them that major scales are attached to minor modes, and they're like, no, it's not. I'd be like, you know that I have, what is it, 30 something years of musical theory expertise. And they're like, no, it's just, sorry. At 66, if someone chats shite to me, I just say, sweet. We're like spirit animals, my friend. We're like, exactly. Disabled since my stroke. Oh, disabled since my stroke and have been word vomiting ever since. First of all, I love that you took a moment like that and turned it into a creative endeavor, and you're still able to live through your mind and these words and these stories. I think that's beautiful. Uh, Honestly, that's inspiring to find that kind of rhythm in your life. So thank you for sharing that. And brilliant. Oh, you were here. Yes, it's like the years keep coming. I'm gonna stop celebrating my birthday though to see if like I can stop the aging. I don't know. I'll have to ask a doctor about that. I think that might happen. I think that's possible. I did say it. So if I say it, it means it's real, right? Because I believe it. That means if I stop celebrating my birthday, I cheers. Who doesn't like a little nose candy? Ha 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 ha. Nose candy. Okay. I consume zero cola. Ooh, ooh. Nice. Back I turned relearning language into almost 2 million words. That's fantastic. And still publishing. I love it. I love it. That's a fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, power to you. Power to you. 56 is that fun age when your hot flashes are more annoying than the carrots. I have hot flashes, but for different reasons. All right, let's get into it. We are going to be talking about the poll. And you're like, but Thomas, what poll is there? Well, let's get into it. I'm going to put the poll up. All right, which one of these? I'm going to show something on the screen. Don't vote yet. Don't vote yet, okay? We're going to do, there's going to be 3 examples, okay? Which one of these examples is AI is basically going to be the question, okay? And we're going to put it on the screen. And there is an option. There is an option for none of the above. You know, we could always, you never know. All right, so don't vote yet. Let's get into the wait, did I do that right? Oh, there it is. Oh, they changed the way the vote looks. That's interesting. All right. What we got here? Respect pen. Yeah. Definitely respect. The dragon dancing. All right, here we go. Let me take this away. All right. So let's look at the first one. I'm going to read it. The espresso machine behind my shoulder hissed like an angry snake. The noise it made had a sinister, not to say devilish, suggestion about it. Perhaps I reflected. Most of our contemporary noises carry that implication. The intimidating, angry scream of jet planes as they flash across the sky. The slow, menacing rumble of a tube train approaching through its tunnel. The heavy road transport that shakes the very foundation of your house. Even the minor domestic noises of today, beneficial in action though they may be, yet carry a kind of alert. The dishwashers, the refrigerators, the pressure cookers, the whining vacuum cleaners. Be careful, they all seem to say. I am a genie harnessed to your service. But if your control of me fails, a dangerous world, that was it. A dangerous world. I'm going to get this wrong. It's all right. There, you know, it happens. All right, example number 2. He had become fascinated with the security business. It was like war games to identify threats, develop counter strategies, and all the time stay one step ahead of the industry spies, blackmailers, and thieves. It began for him when he discovered how the swindling of a client had been accomplished through creative bookkeeping. He was able to prove who, from a group of a dozen people, was behind it. He had been promoted and played a key role in the firm's development and was an expert in financial fraud. 15 years later, he became CEO. He had transformed Milton Security into one of Sweden's most competent and trusted security firms. All right. Number 3 and final. Startled, she jerked upright, the memory swirling away like water down a drain. She cast around until she found the source of the voice. A girl's face peered out from between 2 nearby bookcases, her braid flickering over her shoulder as she checked to make sure no one else was in sight. A pair of spectacles magnified her dark, clever eyes, and hastily scribbled notes marked the brown skin of her forearms, their ink peeking out from beneath her sleeves. Like Elizabeth, she wore a key on her chain around her neck, bright against her pale blue apprentice robes. All right. We got some stuff here. Oh, I love the alliteration is pretty fun. This is TJB. It is not. All right, so there we go. We'll let everybody do their votes. We got 3 votes in. We got 14 viewers. We got 3 votes. We got some people. We got some people saying example 1. We got some people saying example 2. Keep it going. Keep it going. All right. If we got 14 viewers, so if you got some ideas, we got some ideas. I'll if you want, I'll let you look at the top again. Also, remember, it's example 1, 2, 3, or none of the above. Just let's see what happens. Dude, whew, went with the masses. We got 5 votes. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Examples 1, 2, and 3. Very good. Very good. Which one of these examples is AI? Example 2. So we could see it again. We still got a couple people ready to vote. We got 6 votes in. Very good. Very good. Let's go back to example 3. I'm liking it. 9 votes. 9 votes. Excellent. Excellent. We're almost there. Which one of these examples is AI? Which one? We'll go back to the beginning. All right, we got 9 votes in. Let's see if we can at least get 11 votes. Let's see if we can get 11 votes. That'll make it a nice solid boom, boom, boom. If we can just get 2 more people to vote. Example 1, is that AI? Is example 2 AI? Is example 3 AI? Or is it none of the above? What do we got? We got some questions. As someone who gets overstimulated, I feel the perspective of number 1. Interesting. I still think I got this wrong. Which one did you pick, Ro? Example 2 had a lot of he beginning thingies. Can't that also just be stylistic, though? Oh, that's an interesting thought. I'm not gonna give any leeway to this. We got 9 votes. 9 votes. Let's just get 2 more votes in this. Let's see, and then we'll give the answer. If we could get 2 more votes. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We got 5 people. I thought 2 sounded generic enough. Hey, it happens. It happens. SB, did you vote? Did you vote? Again, here's number 2, so you can get a nice little. Ooh, this is a fun. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah. You should be on teleshopping. Can we get another sale? We got example 3. Is example 3 AI? Do we know if example 3 is AI? What about 2? Is 2 AI? Can you tell me in the votes? All right, looks like we're not going to get more than 9 votes. All right, we're going to talk about it. All right, before I tell you, let's get some comments going about this. I voted 2. Very nice. Let's get. I excluded number 2 because of the typos. Oh, that's funny. All right. Here's a question that I'd like everybody to answer. Okay. What was it about your choice? You don't have to tell me what choice you made, but what was it about your choice that made you pick that? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that before I reveal the answer. I chose none of the above, but I listened to a lot of synthetic music, so I don't know if I can tell fake writing. So what you're saying is you're choosing that all the examples are not AI. Okay, fair enough. All right, Angel Faye, yeah. Go take care of the kid. Do. All right. Yeah, let me know. I did 1. I did 2. Let me know your thoughts, which one you believe is AI and why. What was it about the choice that you made it choose AI? I chose the one that made my brain fall asleep and tune out. Felt less human than the others. Interesting. I like that. That is an interesting indicator. Okay. Very cool. All right. I did 1. I did 2, but I had to pay for the other. The redundancy, I think. Interesting. There was definitely redundancy. Very good. I mean, oh wait, this is supposed to be an M dash. All right. So, I chose 3 because it sounds like HP fanfic. Trying too hard. Very good. We got now if you say you wrote, I will resign my commission. Number 1 was quite exploit. Yeah. There's definitely that. There's a couple things we'll talk about right now before we get into it. Keep telling me your thoughts. Everyone give me your thoughts. All right, so right off the bat, what I like about this one is there's a semicolon. You know what they tell you? Don't use semicolons. Semicolons is robotic. We got the ellipsis right here. I know that pen a number. You were saying, MM Ward was saying that ellipses gets the claim, but we have two here. We got one here, we got one there, and we got an M dash. So example one has some telltale signs. It also has the triple shot. The dishwashers, the refrigerators, the pressure cookers. It has the triple shot here. But there's a part of me that feels like they are all AI, but that wasn't a choice. I don't know how to use semicolons, so I'm safe. Well, that's fair. That's fair. Same. All right, that's fine. Let's see. Number two has an M dash. Let's see. It was able for who? This has the triple shot. You know how like it triples up, right? We got was to prove who from a group of a dozen people was behind it. All right. And number six. Example 3 does not have an M dash. Interesting. All right, here we go. We got 9. You can have my ellipses when you pry them from my cold right lens. All right, you ready? You ready to know the answer? All right, let's see. Let's see what example 1 is. Is example 1 AI? Oh, no. Example 1 is The Pale Horse paperback by Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie. All right. So, example 1 is not AI. All right. Example 2. Example 1 had 45% of you believed Agatha Christie was AI. Now, 33% of you believe example 2 is AI. Let's see. Oh, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. Example 2 is not AI. We have one more example left. Oh, wait, let's look at the board. Sorry. Sorry, Agatha. You made my brain fall asleep. It is written in like 1901, you know. I lie. I lie. My M dash is so you foxed me by putting it on after I voted. That's funny. I should have known that. Oh, well, the little dash is like what it looks like sometimes. Course we are crap. Should have known. I recognize number 2. All right. Final example. 11% of you chose example 3 as AI. Is it AI? It is not AI. Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. The correct answer is none of the above. Ooh, we were so close. Attica was clearly ahead of her time. Well, yeah. Oof. The purpose of this example is to by the way, this is modern, and obviously this is in the last 20 years, and then this is obviously much older. Well played. Thank you. You tricked us. I did not. There was a none of the above choice. I was wrong about it being AI, but right about it being a HP. That's it. Holy, yeah, bro, you got it right, buddy. Now, the whole point of this video and all the positions and all the things I was saying is the Dunning-Kruger effect exists. We don't know. We only know what we know. And everyone out there who is not an expert or has been witness to the creative process can tell if something is AI or human written. Our brain can't do it because we don't have the proof. You cannot be guilty without the evidence. Well, you did totally guess right, but you got it right still. You did. I didn't read the thing properly. That's okay. Look, no judgment. That was so good. I appreciate it. So again, if you are writing without AI and you're writing naturally and getting it out and doing your stuff, and someone goes, "You're using AI," remember, Agatha Christie used AI according to this test. Stieg Larsson used AI according to this test. And of course, Margaret Rogerson used AI according to this test, right? But the reality is, unless you are physically watching the process or you are an expert in the field, I'm talking 20 plus years, and your expertise is identifying AI writing, we can't tell. Our brains are not capable of it. It just doesn't happen. Recently, social psychologists have been studying how human writing is affecting AI, and now AI writing is alternating. Oh, that is actually, yes, that is. I was looking in, maybe not the exact studies you were looking into, but yes, there is a study that the human is writing more like AI to compensate for the AI because they are using AI. So now they are writing like AI. It's pretty interesting. That's why I failed my multi-choice questions. Well, if it's a multiple choice A, B, C, D, I always do abacadabra all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. We have all wondered those twists and turns. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I really had no clue though. I just figured I wouldn't know. Yeah. So you should have more confidence in yourself, is all I'm saying, buddy. I have faith in you. You should have faith in you. And you have faith in life. So accept the genius that anything is possible. Listen, my point is, when it comes to AI, we just don't know. But you know. If you know that what you are writing is truly from your brain, you have no one to defend yourself to. All right. Now, if you're at a level like Stephen King or, as they were saying, the Sky Girl author, right? If you got a publishing deal and stuff like that, and there is huge backlash, the secret to fixing that is going on a PR run, is going on all the radios, going on all the television shows you can, if your publisher believes in you. But there was another jump on it where ultimately the publisher was like, "You're not really selling books anyway, so maybe we're gonna cut our losses." But if you're selling books and you're like, "I really didn't use AI," and they're like, "Well, they said they didn't," then you go on a campaign, it's a PR campaign. But at the end of the day, you don't have to defend yourself to strangers. You need 10,000 people to buy your book. So if you write a book and 10,000 people buy it and they love it, then the next book you write, you need another 10,000. Look, if you could do 25,000, that's great too. 50,000, perfect. But what I'm saying is, the amount of book sales you need to live off of your writing, who cares if Jingleheimer Schmidt is like, you use AI. Well, no, I didn't. Have a nice day. You know what I'm saying? What is the answer was none of the above. The answer was none of the above. As Richard Pryor would say in what is it? What is it? Is it Pryor movie? None of the above. What is it called? Brewster's Millions. As Richard Pryor said in Brewster's Millions, none of the above. Vote none of the above. Ballard is suing her publisher and the New York Times and the original guy who started the whole thing. She should. If she absolutely did not write with AI, go for it. All the power to her. If she did not write with AI and she's suing it, I hope she wins. So we will see where the court case goes. I hope it will set precedent, though. And that's the thing. AI is here to stay. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get more advanced. I will say this. Sono, is it Sono? Sono shut down. Sono is like a video one, right? Yeah, Sono AI. Sono AI. One of them shut down. Let me see. Not Suno. Sono Video. Is it Video AI? Video AI. Yeah, so Sora. I'm sorry, Sora. Sora Video AI, yeah, shut down. So AI is shutting down its Sora AI video app and discontinuing its video platform as of March 2026, just months after launching. This strategic shift aims to reallocate resources toward business and coding tools, resulting in the cancellation of $1 billion partnership with Disney. Of course, Disney. The move reflected a broader pivot to reduce costs and prioritize AGA development. The reason for the shutdown and the decision was high compilation costs of creating video content compared to lower inconsistent returns, etc., etc. Also, copyright issues are becoming stricter, and then etc., etc. So there is a movement to shut certain things down, and but AI is here. It's going to be here. I hope AI gets so smart it cures diseases. I hope AI gets so smart it helps people get better. I hope AI becomes a system of growth and you know, I hope it helps society. But as far as the creative medium goes, and because we have capitalism and money, I hope it doesn't take away uh, this path for the creative mind. You know, I'm at a place between my surgery for cancer, my lungs, and my age and my life. If I ever went broke and had to go back to work, I wouldn't be able to do it. I can't. I can't. What am I going to do? I haven't been in the working industry for what 20 years now. Like what am I going to go do? Work as a cashier? I can't do it. What do they pay you? $10 an hour, right? But if AI could get to a point where it's helping society, that's one thing. But the idea that it's taking away the creative path and avenue for us to make a living, that's the scary. But that's scary. But AI's here. Nice. Oh, yeah, none of the above. None of the above. I am working with AI mainly with translations. It is always off, no matter how good it gets. They hide the better AI behind the pay. Well, that's true. GPT is better for literary. Grok is for research and data. If you're just using it for translation, I don't see an issue with that, which makes complete sense. I completely get that. But it's like even Italian. So I speak and I write Italian. I study Italian. Hey, right? Un caffè con latte. All right. But even when I was writing screenplays with Italian in it, I have a friend from Rome, and Deutschland. She's a dual, but she grew up in Roma, and she would make sure that the translations were accurate. Because again, it's not my first language; it is hers, and it was. I would feel AI would be the same thing. Like AI is technically not from that world. It doesn't understand the culture of the language. It only understands the grammar of the language, and even that is, you know. I just write. I don't worry about any of this. Peace be on anyone who does. May you all succeed at your writing. I think that's a beautiful message, Ro. I just write. I don't worry about anything. Woo! Peace be on anyone who does. May you all succeed at your writing skills. I don't know. I think this robot thing is going to be a new part of this experience. Sora AI. Sora, yeah. When I was looking it up, just make sure I was saying. See, again, remember earlier I said I do real time research. If I have the slightest bit of doubt, I had the slightest bit of doubt. I had to make sure that I had the right information, and I do it. So I don't mind getting fact checked. I do it to myself. My son and I made lots of parody vids on there. Again, parody vids, having fun with your kids, having fun, I don't think there's anything wrong with generating artistic expression when it comes to self-serving your enjoyment of life. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But the moment you want to make money with it, that's where because again, you don't own the copyright. The thing is what is that? Claude, right? Yeah. And the Magatron AI. Victories for creatives are about to be reversed by the Gov's policy set to congressional committee to make AIs non-regulable by any state or federal agency, and all information put into them is allowed. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's interesting. Chad has helped me with my house selling, buying, just to get a general understanding of the process. Chad, is that a UK based AI? I'm assuming. I'm assuming. Do do. Anyway, see you tomorrow, Thomas. Hey, good night, Angel Faye. I'm glad you're safe. Love and light. Federal AI. Okay. That would be nice, Thomas, but looking at who runs AI, I agree. I very much agree. It is one of those things where capitalism and the people who are in charge of the growth of the device to help. It's like what is the didn't they say like recently Australia found like a cure for a specific kind of cancer? I don't know if it's Australia, but somebody has found a cure for a specific cancer, not cancer in general, but then the US was like, no. There was some, I have to look into the reality of that, but that's the thing. Like when it comes to money, so its copyrights and trademarks will become even more flimsy than they are. Ugh, that's terrible. Terrible. AI may get advanced, but who will pay $50 for it? Well, that's true. And especially if AI, you pay $50? Whew. With saturation in the market, people will crave authenticity. Yeah, I agree with that. I think streaming writing is the future of writing. Oh, you mean like what I do on Sundays? Like the idea of stream? Yeah, maybe. Well, the Patreon I have shows the writing process and it shows the stages. I think there's something to say about that too. Made music possible for me after writing lyrics for 30 years. You know what made writing possible for me? Practicing. And I'll tell you right now, if I could go back, I don't think I would have done music. I think I would have stuck to my gun. Because everyone, when I was younger, because I had dyslexia, they always be like, you shouldn't be a writer. You shouldn't be a writer. But everything about it, I just loved the concept of stories and writing. And if I had stuck to my guns, I would have been writing way younger. But instead, I had a full career in music. AI discovered the comment we will see next month back in October. Also, it is responsible for finding 4K Earth crossing objects, but none of the objects that created this month's fireballs. Yeah, that's the thing. If AI can help things with the world and life and bringing people together, I'm all for it. But if it takes something away from us, that's an issue. But again, if AI like builds our cars, right? But then those people who build the cars don't have their jobs, but they get a job doing something else, or that they are taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, who was it? It was maybe it was Guinness. Guinness. Well, it's like if you retire, you get money. So I think if you're forced out of a job that you are an expert in and you spent your life there and you're like 40 years old and you've been in the industry for 20 years and they're like, well, AI is taking over, I think that person should have a compensation. Like, even if they get another job, they should get like at least a percentage of what they did make. Because AI is saving them money anyway. So if you gave them half or even a third of what they made, I think that's worth the trade-off just as a decent society, but whatever. Is sitting robot face cool? Does he do Manowar? Let's see. Let's ask him. Hey, AI Thomas, do you do Manowar? If you are not into metal, you are not my friend. Heavy metal or no metal at all. Whips and polders, leave the halls. Yes, he does. Thomas AI does Manowar. All right. We need AI for that because there are fewer people than staff at Chipotle? Oh, Chipotle looking for things they could hit us from space. Chat GPT. Oh, chat. Oh, chat. I call him Chad. Oh, that's funny. I'm on it then. I'm on it. I like that. Yeah. Oh, revised Abby. Must be funny in the rich man's world. Ook, the poor. Tell me about it. Just like you said, that ship set sail. Yeah, it definitely did. It didn't dock at my port. Oh. Now I have a second chance, and I don't have to give up my family to do it either. That's fair. That's fair. Look, as long as you're having fun, you got to live your life. Do you, sir? Do you? All right, we had to. Oh, let me do it. Let me do it real quick. I gotta get it in there. I gotta get it in there. If you didn't know, go to Make It Right Left here. I have some books available. This book is all about outlining, but it actually is more of an education on a narrative. So if you're a pantser, you can read this book and still understand the movement of narrative and do what you want while you're writing at the seat of your pants. But the second half of the book is a deep dive into outline. If you didn't know, Death of a King, we're like on chapter 20 something. So that means if you go over to Patreon and sign up for the Scribe tier, you will get all those chapters. They're already released, so they're available to say hi to. More importantly, they're educational. So I show you the behind the scenes of the short form outline. I show you the zero draft, first draft, and third draft before the polish. It is not the polished version. And I give notes, educational elements, and hip hip hooray, some information on how you can use it to advance your own writing. And of course, Breaking Down Success, the first book in the series, The Foundation for Longevity. Book 2 is currently, and most importantly, being formatted. I'm having a lot of fun getting that book ready. And if you didn't know, Legacy of Blood will be the second book in the Maven Wars. So if you are reading the first book, Death of a King, know that we will continue the process of showing the chapters in the series. I will say this, though, more likely than not, it will just be the zero drafts and the short form outline. And then as I go through the drafts, I will go back and I will start uploading the first draft and then the third draft, because that book is still in process, but I still want to maintain movement so everybody could see the process. If you didn't know, this is not the book cover. I just have this as art, just so I could have this up there. But the first book in the Roosevelt Files, Altar of Lies, I will have that up this coming week. It will not be on Monday. I'm going to release these books, these chapters, on Fridays. So Friday, the 3rd of April, will be the first book. And remember, these are going to be zero drafts, because that's what I'm on right now. But again, as I get to the first draft, I will go back and start releasing the third draft, the first draft, etc., etc., etc. But there it is. You got it all. Oh, if you haven't done so already, please bloop the beard and bloop that like button, because honestly, we need subscribers. We need the watch time. We need the shares. We need the loves, and we need those likes. I really appreciate all of it. All right, there we go. Let's look at the last couple comments, and then maybe we'll get out of here. They should stick to the science and business stuff and leave the art. Agreed. Let's get an applause for that, because that is absolutely. My eldest has a multimedia graphic degree. AI has. Yes. She is glad that she started a pet house sitting. I'm glad she's doing something, especially with animals. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. The amount of time I put into learning graphic art work, because I've been the graphic artist for the band back in the day, and then I continue to do it for clients, and I had my production company. And now you just got to go, I need this. And people are just like, look, I have that. And it's like, I call it. Job, Lenny. That's funny. I got the premium on X because it was like $70 for a year, and it promised extra grok. X is awful, but I deemed grok superior to Japan and cheaper. But they now ask extra 10 for base. That's annoying. That's annoying that they do it. Well, Elon has to make money somehow, even though he's a fucking multi-billionaire. What is he, trillionaire? I don't know, some crazy thing. Her bestie has spent years trying to work with her degree. They were in the same program and graduated the same year, and has finally decided to get a trade degree. Trade as in like becoming a plumber or something like that. Yeah. Looking forward to Altar of Lies. You look good in Noir filter. Thank you. Yes, I gotta buy the hat and the trench coat, but the picture is actually me. But it's that I just like you did. I just had him put the hat on, the hat and the trench coat in the rain. Hey, Ro, have a great day. Have a great day. I don't know if you but celebrate. Much love to you, man. I hope you got my email. Wishing you a great something. So be good, my friend. Be blessed and have a great day. All right. With that, everybody, just so you know, I'm out. I'm going to go. I'm going to eat something. But yeah. For anyone who wants to read the Noir, it is going up on this Friday. The prologue will be up. It won't be bullet pointed zero draft. I'm just going to post it as a clean version. It's unworked, unedited. It is still a zero draft. I just won't have the bullet points on it. It'll just look straight. That will be, so if you're interested in that, the scribe tier will get you that, but it'll get you everything else on Patreon. So feel free to jump on over there. Anyway, other than that, you are welcome, my friend. Other than that, I'm out of here. So much love today. Thank you for sitting with me and us having this conversation. And I really hope that it enlightened you and relieved any stress or fears or worries about the world out there and how AI is consuming everything. Other than that, I'm out. I will see you tomorrow for the Make a Right Left here for the Write a Book with Me series. Other than that, much love. Peace and harmony, everybody. I'm Thomas J. Bellezza, and as always, keep developing the right mindset.